Welcome everyone to Get Bricked. Today we've got the Microblock cartoon series with their rendition of Nick Fury. So let's get building. Welcome everyone to Get Bricked. Today we've got a Microblock set from their cartoon series with Nick Fury from the Avengers. Now this is set 8149A and includes 230 pieces. Now this set does appear to be a decent representation of Nick Fury, and I've actually taken a look at a couple other of these like nanoblock and microblock style sets before, but this is the first time I've actually seen them with moving parts here in the arms. So that's a nice little feature that we can actually twist them and bend the arms up and down, get a little bit more play value out of them, but with how small the pieces are, they're very fragile to build and work with, especially with someone like myself who's got bigger hands. It can be a little tough getting all the smaller pieces together. But this one looks great, so let's go ahead and get them on the turntable. Now if we get them on the turntable, we can take a look at all the detail we get out of this set, and it actually represents the character really nicely. Now starting from the bottom, he does have a nice gray base plate, which you can use as a bit of a stand for the character, and it does make it a little bit more stable for when he's sitting on a shelf. So I like the fact that we get that at least as a nice piece to come with it, and it's a decent size for the character as well. Now moving up to the main body of the figure, it is largely done up in black, because of course he's usually sporting a black outfit as well as his signature black trench coat. And I like the fact that we get a little bit of gray there at the waist to represent a belt, but it's the only other gray other than the base plate that we got in this set. Now we do have the black pieces extending onto the arms where we actually get a bit of a shoulder joint there with a ball joint, and then we've got the skin tone for the hands. Now moving up to the head, it is largely done up with the skin tone as well. We do get a bit of black for the goatee, and then of course we get his signature black eye patch, and we get a little bit of black with a couple of like rounded pieces for the eye, and then we do get some white for the eye as well as for in the mouth. But otherwise, it's largely just flesh tone and black for the character. But I like this representation of Nick Fury, and it's not actually named Nick Fury on the box, which is a bit of an odd thing, but it definitely does match the look of the character, kind of what you'd expect. Maybe there's a few details that could be changed, but we are dealing with a smaller scale for the figures, and so maybe it is a little bit more complicated. Now, I do like that we are getting into some specialty bricks with those ball joints for the arms, which we did talk about earlier, because we don't usually see that on these smaller kind of brick sets. At least I haven't seen that in the ones I've taken a look at so far. Most of the time they're just kind of static figures, you can't really do much with them, and they're not really playing figures because of course a lot of them are very fragile, so one small drop or like a bump or anything like that, if you're too rough with it, it's just going to fall apart right away on you, and then you might just start losing some of these pieces because of course they're mostly very small. Now the only downsides I would point to is in the ears. It would have been nice to see them kind of pushed in a little bit more, because I've seen them do builds like this where you can actually have it kind of halfway brick, like if you had like a jumper piece to go in between two studs, or a way to fill in the nose there, because it doesn't have any piece that was in the instructions to go there, but maybe that's because that's supposed to be his brow dipping down, because of course Nick Fury is a very serious character. And I think the only other thing would be maybe I'd like to see the character filled out a little bit more, because he's very thin going from the front to back. Maybe add an extra brick or two of width just to kind of fill in the character a little bit more would have been a nice way to kind of beef it up a little bit more. But let me know your thoughts on the Microblock set. Is there any other changes you'd like to see or any other sets from them that we should be on the lookout for? And don't forget to like and subscribe and get that bell on to be notified about our next video. Now before you get recruited to the Avengers, just be sure to tell everyone that you just got bricked.